Hey guys, Rogue Orange here. I got some stuff from Japan. Now, this isn't the most expensive haul I've ever done. This is certainly not the most, abundant, but a lot of the stuff here is really, really cool and unique, and I'm just gonna show you what I got. Starting with the least expensive item of the entire haul, we have this Japanese copy of Tetris for the original Game Boy. Now this, a little bit dirty, a little bit yellowed, but I can 100% confirm that this does in fact work. But by no means does that mean I'm a great Tetris player. I am not very good at it, if I can be completely honest with you. But regardless, it is a legit copy, it works, and I am very happy that I was able to get it for just a couple of bucks. Up next, we have 98 Koshin for the original PlayStation 1, produced by the Magical Company in, of course, 1998. And this game is pretty much a baseball simulation that allows you to play in a high school league that puts you in like tournaments and brackets and all types of stuff. But that's not what this game is really known for. As I'm sure you've seen online and viral clips on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot, you'll know that this game has a very unique little quirk. See, this game has a feature where you can create your own pitching style, your own wind-up, your own delivery. The problem is that the pitching customizer in this game has absolutely no physics or anatomical restraints on this, so you can quite literally confuse the batters by making your pitcher do whatever they want when they go to throw the ball to the plate. And this was surprisingly cheap. This was like $5. This game is not expensive, but it is definitely a niche classic that a lot of people find fun in unintentional ways. Next up, we have this copy of NBA Live 2002. Again, another cheap game that shouldn't have any sort of value, and to be fair, when I bought it from Japan, it was only like $6, so it doesn't have any monetary value, but it does have quite a bit of historical value. See, in America, if you remember NBA Live 2002, this was not the cover. In fact, the cover was actually Steve Francis of the Houston Rockets. But due to some licensing issues when putting this game in Japan, they were able to secure Michael Jordan for the cover, and including he's not only there, but he is on the front cover on the manual. And yeah, this is a pretty unique piece because there is no other copy of NBA Live 2002 that you're going to find that has Michael Jordan on the cover unless you are in Japan. And on eBay, this fetches like $25, $30, but it's not a expensive rare piece, but it is definitely a niche piece that I am happy to have in my collection just because of the backstory. Next up, we have this Game Boy Advance SP. Now, there's a whole backstory on why I bought this. Originally, my original childhood Game Boy Advance SP was a cobalt blue, but these are so insanely expensive on eBay. I literally went to Yahoo Auctions Japan or Flea Market or whatever, or Mercari, to try and even find something that was relatively cheaper, and I got this one for $65 with a charger, and this thing is in amazing condition. Everything looks good, everything feels good. The battery's not bloated or anything. The charging ports and the external cable ports look good. It turns on. Everything is good. It was listed as junk for $65, and it's perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with this, and the idea that I had is that I wanted to pretty much recreate my childhood Game Boy and kind of like customize it how it used to look and whatnot, and try to collect all of the games that I had originally had with it. The carrying case that I had with it, I could not find it on eBay anywhere. There's similar looking ones, but they're not the right shape, and they don't look, they're not the same one. And apparently I had the only one in the world, since apparently nobody else has seen the exact one I'm talking about. Either way, I got this really good deal on a Game Boy. There's no reason to really be upset by this. Next up, we have this Famicom. this Nintendo Famicom. If you don't know what the Famicom is, it is essentially the NES before the NES. They originally started selling these in Japan in 1983 up until the 1990s. And this is actually a pretty special one. Despite its yellowed, not so great looking condition, this is actually considered one of the rarer variants of the Famicom. Because back in the day, when they first started producing these, they produced these with square rubber buttons. And if you know anything about the rubber buttons of the start and select buttons, you know that they get ruined, they get stuck, and it's just overall a pretty bad experience. And what had happened is that for the first less than a year of production, from July 1983 until early 1984, they were producing these with these square rubber buttons, and enough people complained that the round circular plastic buttons you see on the Famicom today became the standard. And these became incredibly hard to find, as these were basically first off the line. These were pretty much the first Famicoms ever made. 50,000 to 100,000 of these were ever made, and based on the numbers that they sold 19 million Famicoms in Japan, that accounts for less than 1% of the Famicoms ever sold. So this is actually considered a very rare variant of the Famicom, and you're going to see when I lift off the controller, there you go, you got square rubber buttons. And on this one, and this one actually has the microphone on it as well, which is absolutely awesome. Now, of course, when you're talking about something this rare, obviously people are going to try to pass off regular Famicoms with the controllers as legit. And there is a great sign to tell if your square button is legit. See, if you flip it over, you're going to see that this has a kind of a smooth plastic finish. This is absolutely legit. This is the right finish for the bottom piece of the shell. The later models that have the circular plastic buttons will have a rough bottom, and I have another one of those. I would have to dig it out of storage, but I have one that has the round plastic buttons and the rougher shell on the bottom. This is 100% legit, and the fact that I only got this for $35 is insane. And I would love to show you that it works, but of course, being a console from the early 80s, it only supports RF, and I do not have an RF to AV adapter, so that demonstration would probably have to wait for another day. Either way, this is super awesome, and I'm very proud to have this one. And finally, the coup de grace of this whole haul, this thing, I kept it in the bubble wrap because I feel that there's a new global pandemic on this coming from this thing, and I should be wearing gloves, but I'm not going to because YOLO, you know, F it, we ball, right? But this is a Game Boy Color. Now, I only got this for $20, and I mean, it looks pretty rough from the beginning, but I promise you, as soon as I turn this over, you're not going to believe what this thing actually looks like. I hope you're not eating while watching this, because I'm going to turn this over in 3, 2, 1. Ooh. This thing, I don't know what happened to it, but my God, this thing it's horrendous, so to speak. This is very horrendous. I think the screen lens underneath this is fine. Because I'm pretty sure this is a screen protector over top of this, because I can see the actual, power indicator underneath here, and I'm going to verify to you that this thing does not work. We're going to shove some freshly charged rechargeable batteries in here, give the old roll, and would you believe it, it doesn't turn on. In fact, the power switch itself is just hard to flip on. This thing is disgusting. And as you look around the rest of the console, you're going to see there's just these spots of rust. As I told you, the power switch is really hard to move. The volume wheel is rusted beyond belief. The external plug is rusted beyond belief. You can see, let me try to turn on the flash. You can see dirt, gunk, remnants caked all through that back part of the shell. Yeah, more rust spots here. And you can see literal chunks of debris. Literal chunks of debris are all through this thing. You know those like little plastic toys that have the little rings and you try to like move it around to try and get the rings onto the like the little posts? That's what this reminds me of. Like these little remnant pieces of gunk are like bouncing off of these plastic pieces, kind of like that. That's what this reminds me of. The start and select feel terrible. The buttons, surprisingly, don't feel that bad, but this thing is overall gross, and I'm kind of confused because looking in here, the screws holding the board in, they look relatively okay. And even the battery contacts, those look fine. So I'm really confused on how the rest of this thing got this way. But either way, when I eventually find the time, I do want to make a video trying to clean this up and potentially repair it. I don't know if this thing will ever work, but I do want to at least try and, resurrect it in some form. But yeah, I'm gonna put this thing back where it came from, or so help me. And that is it. That is our little Japan haul. Some unique items, some cool items, some sentimental items, some rare items, and some really gross items. Let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that way you don't miss a new upload. Check out my channel page for behind the scenes and other updates. Shout out to Poggers. Use my affiliate code ORANGE or use the link in the description to save 10% on your first order. All of my social links are also down in the description. Anyways, my name's Rogue Orange, and I'll see you soon. Peace.